Parkinson's affects millions of people. It's a brain disease that affects motor function. We're going to find out how to keep moving from Karen Russell, Mountain Valley Regional Rehabilitation Hospital. Great to have you on, Karen.
Thank you for having me.
You know, there are many things with Parkinson's. You know, there's facial things. It affects their voice, many things. But walking can be getting around some of the hardest thing they have to do. What are some of those challenges that they face?
Yeah, when the individuals with Parkinson's, it affects balance a lot of their motor movements. So it could be anything from walking to speaking, swallowing. So anything that has to do with any type of motor function within the body, Parkinson's can affect.
And so where do you start to try to keep that working, keep the voice going, keep the legs moving, that kind of thing?
Yeah, movement is one of the biggest things that we really reinforce. You know, physical activity is so important with individuals with Parkinson's because they tend to get stiff and they tend to get rigid. So moving along with your medications is really, those two combined are one of the best things you can do for Parkinson's.
Wow. How about fun fitness, you know? Because I think sometimes having to do things and making sure that you can stay on your feet and you walk, I mean, it might not be very fun, but...
And that's kind of where I have to take the therapy brain with what I would want to do with Parkinson's and what might be fun for them. You know, the therapist, I would typically have someone on a treadmill at a very low speed where they can hold on so that they can really reinforce that quality of gait. Getting that heel strike, getting those nice big strides that often the Parkinson's individuals lose because they get that festinating, shuffling gait. But that's, let's face it, that's not always very fun, just to kind of slow go on a treadmill. So we're really trying to reinforce that any movement is good movement and find activities that are fun for you to do. It could be anything from dancing with your partner. So it could be, tango is very popular right now. It could be water aerobics. It could be Tai Chi. If hiking is still something that you can safely do, maybe hiking. One of the activities on the forefront right now actually is boxing.
You're kidding, for Parkinson's?
For Parkinson's,
oh my
yeah,
gosh,
yeah. And we actually have an individual in town that is certified to teach a program called Rock Steady Boxing, and he has some classes that are geared specifically for those individuals with Parkinson's. And I just did a talk to our local Parkinson's group, and that is one of their favorite activities is the boxing program.
I love it. Yeah. I'm just trying to imagine that, but I think that's so amazing because those do sound like really fun activities.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned medication in terms of therapy. Do they need medication to help maintain their fitness?
Well, a lot of it depends on, it's amazing, Parkinson's is such a diverse disease in that you can have two people who've had it for 10 years and they present completely differently. So some are on medications and some are not. It really just depends on where they're at in the disease process.
Okay, because I know it affects the dopamine in the brain, and so what do you do for that? How does that work into staying fit and
so those that are on medication, they will get something that is helps with the transmission and the production of dopamine in the brain, which then is a neurotransmitter, so that helps with movement. So it's important if they are on medications to make sure that they take them not only just regularly but at the same time every day, because when they get off schedule, it is amazing how quickly it affects their ability to mobilize, their ability to get out of bed, their ability to stand up. They really get stiff and their patterns of movement get so slow that sometimes they can actually just freeze up. So the timing and the use of medications. The hard part about medications with Parkinson's is you also, as the disease process continues, you can't just throw higher levels of medication. If you continue to add more dopamine, it actually has adverse reactions and it can actually make the movement patterns worse.
Oh.
So yeah, it's one of those diseases that you can only give so much medication to. Yeah.
Well, and it's so important because they do lose their voice. They do lose these motor skills. As you said, they start shuffling and then pretty soon, you know, they'll fall over. So it's so important. Does that progress and get worse and worse as it goes on? And if so, then how does physical therapy, can that delay it? What difference does that make?
Yeah, it is a progressive neurological disease, so you are going to continually have a decline in function. What we look at with Parkinson's when it comes to therapy is we always feel that a Parkinson's individual can use an annual tune-up. Because we're really good at developing compensatory strategies. So we change how we move to to offset the deficits.
Nice.
Those strategies aren't always the most effective and the safest. So we can help them get them out of those strategies. The other thing we can do is teach them new skills, new techniques, maybe adaptive equipment to adjust to what their current functional level is, so we can increase their safety and, more importantly, decrease the risk of fall, because falls with a Parkinson's individual is
devastating.
Yeah, it is devastating.
Anyway, very important to know there are things that can be done over at Mountain Valley Regional Rehabilitation Hospital for those Parkinsons. Thanks so much.
Definitely. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Okay, more right here, Arizona Day in the Mix.